And we begin. Hello, guys. My name is Thaddeus, and this is.
Darius, how are you?
So today, we're going to be talking about a few different things in this topic. So it is called When Our Progression Meets Yours. And one of the things that we want to talk about with progression that comes first is we were talking earlier before doing the podcast, and we wanted to talk about how we can progress the podcast. And we have a few ideas that is going through our head. I'm gonna say it because somebody might get something as we're going through it. But I know I was saying, like, look at what other people are doing who are like spiritual, what they talk about, and see something that maybe we may notice that is missing. And Darius mentioned a few things that he wanted to do. You wanted to share that right quick, or look. He said he wanted to do a few things, and then I was just thinking about some stuff as well. But we're still in the middle of like trying to come together. So we were thinking, all right, well, let's just discuss this during the podcast of like how we can progress, because we do we do the interviews. So that's been a good thing as well. But we want to do something different, unique that progresses us. So I guess in this topic, for now, at this current moment, we're just going to be discussing together with you guys like some ideas that we can throw together. By the way, feel free to comment or message us. I should open it up on my phone, right? If they chat.
Yeah.
Just feel free to like shoot a message and like shoot your ideas and stuff, because we really want to progress it and do something different. Me and him are really big on like, breaking patterns and stuff. So that's something we wanted to do. So that being said, I guess we can start thinking out loud.
I feel like our standard podcast should be an interview. I feel like the best podcasts we've had thus far have been with other people. I feel the most invigorated while having conversations with other people. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just like, oh, we're just talking. And that's fine. There's growth being made. But I feel like there's just a lack of something, of oomph. I feel like we're kind of just going through the motions now, and I don't want to do that because I don't really get excited to do the podcast anymore. Before it's like, yeah, podcast. Now it's like, oh, whatever, another day, podcast, no biggie. But I'm wanting to just take this to the next level somehow. And we were thinking of promotional methods, but I think the foundation of the podcast needs to be presented in a way that we've yet to present it in as well. And of course, interviews is the greatest place to start. So again, if you're watching this, you feel if you're watching this, you're interview worthy. You don't need to be an intuitive counselor kind. People just want to hear your story. The perspective you can provide can then be brought into the perspective of others, because we're all co-creating on this world, which is essentially the result of constant co-creation, if you think about it, because we're all constantly building and growing and creating together as a result of someone else's ideas, if you think about it. So how do we get to the space? Why am I wearing a shirt? Because someone else created a shirt. There was once an idea to create a shirt that was then built with momentum over the decades and centuries to go, and thousands of years created other designs with this shirt, and as a result of that, technology advanced. So don't feel as if you have to have a magnificent perspective, because your perspective is already magnificent. You should have to view it as such. So we're wanting to interview you guys, and we're also going to be bringing in some of our friends that we know, our very spiritual friends, to interview as well. And I want to do this next week, so we need to like contact people like today. Once we're doing this podcast, I'm really wanting to hit people up and let them know, like, hey, come on the podcast now, because I'm just not feeling very excited about this podcast anymore. I don't know, I feel like some of you guys are probably like feeling it as well. Like, okay, this podcast, I like it, cool, but I'm wanting something. I wanted to feel something. So I want to definitely talk to Jason. I want to talk to everyone in our crew that we can bring them on one by one. That's at least two of us. So it's at least 3 weeks worth of material right there. We have conversation about spiritual stuff, and I'm pretty sure the second we have a conversation about them, we'll be inspired to do something else. But for now, I think it's just best for us. But the best thing we've done so far is to be aware of what is. We now are aware of the fact that we need to progress. We're aware of the fact that we've yet to truly tap into what this podcast will exist as. And we're thankful for the viewers who have joined us on this journey, and we'll continue to progress along with you. We're wanting to share with you how we're going to progress and how this progression can progress with you, going to progress as a result of that. Because again, we're constantly creating. And when I create something, let's say I create a pencil, he's going to use that pencil. What's he going to write with that pencil? An idea. That idea will then create a product that someone else will like. That product will then inspire someone else to create something else they like. So we're constantly creating together. So I'm wanting to talk about, I can be very competitive. Intuitively speaking, when I'm not being intuitive at my job, I'm very competitive. I'm wanting to share how important it is to be aware that when someone else progresses, so do you. When someone else is inspired to progress, and someone else creates a place of progression, as a result of them progressing, you yourself progresses, mainly because you're aware of the progression, so you might want to progress as well. But what you probably aren't aware of is the energy that comes with that progression. How the energy that this person is giving off as a result of them progressing, is affecting you. You're going to feel the energy of that. Shanita Love says what? How are you, Shanita? I want to thank you for joining the podcast, Shanita. She also was on my live stream that I did the other day. I'll be doing more live streams. I want to do one Thursday morning for sure. Thursday morning and Friday morning, I'll be doing some more live streams on my personal channel. So be sure to check the more info box for that. Also, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Shanita. We love you. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying before. What was I saying? Yes. So at my job, I'm a server at my job, and I see other people doing better than me. And I'm like, fuck, what am I doing wrong? And it's not that I'm doing anything wrong. It's a matter of my path aligning in a different way, a different perspective. Perhaps my abundance isn't defined by financial goals. Perhaps it's a table telling me I have a great speaking voice and I should do voiceovers. Or perhaps it's a table saying, hey, you have a great smile. You should use that for this. That's a form of abundance because it makes you feel good while you're making the money. What's the point of making money? To have relief, to feel great, to feel good. If you can feel good without the money, you've already achieved the goal of you trying to get the money. So in a way, I'm kind of like I don't want to say I'm more advanced. I've essentially jumped a step. I've skipped a step because I've already reclaimed that feeling of joy and abundance that the financial gain was meant to provide. You see what I'm saying? So don't feel as if someone else's advancement or progression hinders yours, because only you can hinder your progression, because you're defining your progression. You're defining how you perceive progression. You're defining who you are and how you come in contact with others around you. Because again, if you come in contact with someone's form of progression, it's because you two are on the same vibrational plane with one another. It's because you two are creating together. It's essentially because you two are, in a way, whether there's a lot or little, you're on the same path, if you think about it. Because I know Thaddeaus because we're on the same path. If I would never know Thaddeaus if I was wanting to be a rock climber. If I was not spiritual at all, I probably would know Thaddeaus because he's very spiritual. So am I. And our spirituality allows us to coincide together and exist together and co-create together. And as a result of that co-creation, we create this podcast. And because you're watching the podcast, you are part of the co-creation. You're progressing with us. As we progress, we tell you how we progress, and then you take those notes into your lives and you progress in whatever way you deem fit. But even if you don't make an attempt to progress, you will progress just by watching this video, just because we're progressing in the process of it. And as a result of that, we're putting out energy. Right now, this is energy. You're seeing technology, you're on the internet, but this is literally energy. The words I'm saying have energy. That's a word. And when you think of that word, you create an energy for that word. Vagina, that's another word. You think of these are words that have like energy to them. So the second you think of these words as energy, they then take on the form of that energy. So the fact that we're speaking to you in this way means you're being attuned. If you think about it, we're attuning you as we speak. You know, we're essentially altering your energetic body, and as a result of that, your perspective changes and your intentions to create changes as well. But only because we co-create together, and because Shanita Love left a comment that affected our vibration, and we spoke about something else. It altered the way we are existing right now because she left a comment. So just because she left a comment and she said she loves us or whatever, we now received that love and we had a moment to discuss that love. So someone might see this a year from now, I'm like, wow, they received love. Now I'm going to receive love. I want to send love as well. So you see how the second you do something, anything, you're essentially creating a wave of energy that will be felt by others around you. And by others around you, doesn't need to be in the same physical space, because energy has its own space. So let's say I'm right here and someone is down the street, or let's say they're in Miami. That's even further. We're in West Palm Beach right now. Miami is about an hour and a half away if you're driving fast, about an hour and a half away. So let's say I'm here and you're in Miami. If I put out an attunement to connect with all of those intuitive beings in Miami will feel that energy, whether they know it or not, whether they perceive it as a Darius sending out energy or not. They'll get it when they need to get it, how it needs to come. And because we're doing that, because we're essentially creating spaces for energy to come, it can be received in whatever way it needs to be received, whether that's you being aware of it or not. Okay? I feel it's a good time for to pass over the mic for you. But what I'm going to do, he's going to be talking. I'm going to do something I've been doing recently. I've been passing attunements in my videos, just kind of like giving you like an energetic marker for the video. Because whenever you see this, whether you see this now or in the future or, you know, next year, whatever the case may be, excuse me, whenever you're seeing the video, you receive the attunement. We need to receive the attunement. Okay, just be aware that you're receiving it. Take some deep breaths and be open to it and however it comes to you. Might come to you with your hands feeling different or whatever the case may be. Just be aware of that. I'm going to let him speak. I'm going to do my thing. So yeah.
Well, I'm pretty much going to be thinking out loud because that's pretty much what we're at right now, is just the progression of the podcast. And like he was saying, interviews is a good is a good point. It's a good stepping stone as well. As he was talking about that, I was just thinking like it's a good chance to actually elevate others and promote them as a being, because I don't know, you see a lot of how can I put it? You see a lot of stuff with people and they're always putting people down. So it's like our podcast, we can actually be creating a space where we can like promote and elevate other people. Which is that's kind of giving me some stuff right there to think about. But yeah, something along of just like elevating others. Another thing with that is like I'm actually kind of feeling like I need to build up on that, because something like build up on that. But I don't know. I'm just thinking like, okay, we have our friends, like you said. I feel like I agree with him. I do feel like if we had our friends come in and they start talking and stuff like that, they'd be able, it'll trigger stuff. Ideas will start flowing and things like that. You get to meet other different people, different perspectives, how they view things. It adds like a different mix constantly to everything. And hey, Brown Bujita, how are you doing? Catching you up right now. We're in the middle of like thinking of how to progress the podcast. So whatever you feel that you want to like throw in, that could probably help the podcast progress, by all means, like throw the comments out there. So we're pretty much like all coming together and thinking about like the progression of the podcast, because there's a lot of things we want to do. But I believe the first step is being aware, okay, we're at this like plateau of stuff. So now let's rise higher than this. We're made aware of it. So now, okay, where do we want to take it? And I'm just thinking, okay, we can elevate people. That's one of the biggest things. I love to like learn about other people, learn their journey and things like that, and they get to share. It gives them like that limelight and things like that. And also I just love getting out of my own space and just getting to know others. So I think maybe we'll have to push more on our end to, like he said earlier, to get the interviews and all of that going, and sharing and collaborations and stuff like that with other people. So that's one thing. I'm just thinking more of like what else we can do with the podcast. Eventually, at some point, we do want to hit like some big people who are on YouTube. I was telling him before, I was like, I would love to interview Infinite Waters and Teal Swan. They're just pretty cool, just to hear them like talk and share stuff, and more just to get to know them as a whole and things like that. What's up, Karen? How's it going? And just to update you guys, Darius is doing like attunements and stuff like that and working on stuff. So yeah, but I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no. So wanting to interview Teal Swan, want to interview Infinite Waters, and some other people as well who are just like different. We were talking about that earlier in the car as well, of like what other people on YouTube or just other people in general we can like just talk with and get to know and just do the interview stuff with them. So that's one thing as well. Yeah. Thanks, Brown Preheated. She says she is brainstorming ideas for us, and Infinite Waters. Yeah, he'll be a pretty cool guy to like talk with and stuff like that. Hey, he's different, and other different people. I just love people who are just very different. So yeah. So that's pretty much what this what we're doing right now in this moment in the podcast. We're all like brainstorming and doing whatever like comes to mind and share, because we definitely want to, take it further and surpass where we're at right now. I'm thinking of a few other ideas too. Um, I'm thinking of comedy skits. That's kind of funny. I mean, but I don't know how to film that or anything like that. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm thinking also too. I may just have to like just take some time and like go through like some YouTube people who I like subscribe to and just see what I like about them, and then probably like get some data from that and just create something and just gather data from there. So that's something that I'm thinking about. I'm trying to see. I think also one point in time earlier, we were in the interviews, we were saying that we wanted to ask others when they did interview if there's something they wanted to promote, um, that they know of or something that they do, bring awareness to something that they create. Because I find that pretty cool because there's a lot of things out there that I've always been asking for. And then someone would just know or they do it or they have already created it. And if they just promote it, it helps other people know as well. So it's just like a way of like promotion, connections, networking, all things like that. But that is where my mind is on that as far as the progression with the podcast. But for me personally, outside of the podcast, I've been working on progression for myself, things along the lines of like learning more about like businesses and like investing and things like that. I've met a really cool girl or lady. She's really cool. You finish?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to the audience?
I just allow whatever to come through. I don't do anything, I guess. Honestly. There's certain quick, I don't do anything.
I understand. Yeah. That's the comment so far.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys? We got 6 viewers. Nice.
Yeah.
But yes, you said a few things that I thought of while I was in that state. We can interview the peace dealer if you think about it. I mean, I'm sure he would be more than welcome to come on here. The peace dealer we can definitely do. You said something else. I can't remember now. Yeah. We could also like run some like test. No, that comedy skit. We can do that. We can do something like when a spiritualist something. We can think of something. I feel like we should use Jason as not a platform, but like an example of what we can make fun of. Because you think about it, honestly, knowing Jason, I feel like Jason's like a spiritual jock, kind of like airheady, but like very spiritual as fuck. But like like a spiritual jock. Like even his physicality is very he has guns and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like we can use him as a perfect example of like a spiritualist who's kind of like not weird, but we can make fun of him and have it be funny. And we can also do like test ads, like maybe put in like $10 towards YouTube ads and to see where it happens. See what happens. I feel like we're on YouTube the most. I feel like YouTube's a great platform for us. So
that is.
Yeah.
We have to ask Jason if he's comfortable.
Well, I don't necessarily need him in the video. I just want to like look at some of the things he does and like kind of like, oh, let's make fun of that. Not necessarily say, hey, this is me making fun of Jason, but like making fun of the spiritualist who does what Jason is doing.
I mean, I'm totally down for I'm totally down for like laughing at certain things that spiritual people do. We do it often. Not like no, and let me clarify. We don't pick on our friends and stuff like that. It's just when we're together, there are things that we do and we start laughing at each other. So Jason does do funny things. I do funny things. We all do. So it's just like I can make fun of myself. And if he was on here, he could say, that moment when, someone's about to like say something really like blunt to you. You're like, oh, fuck. Like we do these things. So it's a matter of bringing that out and sharing. I think that'd be pretty fun.
It would be, yes. As you said comedy, I thought of your friend. I don't know. I've got her name. Deborah, yeah.
Yeah.
She recommended we do that. And I also saw us recording out there, as you said. I'm like, okay, that's cool. She definitely do that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny stuff.
I'm going to write this down. Like type it up or something.
Yeah, put it in your notes.
Yeah.
I think we got a few comments. Brown Buhita, she said, yes, interview Mike and collab on a comedy sketch with him too. That would be hilarious. And she said a spiritual key and Peele?
What's the Key and Peele? The thing with Mike is he's in Las Vegas. So that'd be interesting to see how that would work if we were. We probably have to record on our end and he can record on his end and kind of like put it together.
Probably.
That could work, but we'd have to talk with him first. But I'm definitely wanting to do a video with him. And if we were to interview him, how would it be different for him from him interviewing us? That's important because he's already interviewed us. So what can we bring to the table? You know, I guess because I don't really know his story. I know he's on YouTube. I've been following him for years, but I don't know his story.
That's something we could talk to him
so
about.
I guess I'm gonna like hit him up today because I don't want to like wait on any stuff.
That's something we could do. Interview him on his story. I think that's something that will be easy for us because we all have like our stories and stuff like that, and we can like go from there. But yeah, I don't, because you know how me and you are. We like to go to like the core of stuff. Yeah, so how did he get to where he is? Right. You know, what is his background?
He's a little older than us, so I feel like, and he was always been older than us, but when he was first started YouTube, I think he was maybe like still older than we are now. So I think there was a chunk of time where he was like, okay, do I do YouTube or not? And I want to know what happened before he got on YouTube. Because if you go on his YouTube channel now, his earliest video is not his first video. He deleted his earlier stuff. He used to do videos like Mercury and Aries and Mercury and Mars, but he took that down, and now he did the new stuff. So if you like an old school, the piece of the fan, you know what I'm talking about. That's when I first got into him. I was in my first year of college, my second year of college when I first got into him. And I'm 26 now. I graduated college when I was 21. I want to say 22. You know, so and back then he was doing stuff like very like traditional astrology stuff. Now it's more like all he does is live streams now. He does like comedy skits as well. But in the very early stage of the Peace Healer, it was very like the foundations of astrology. Then he took that down and started doing new stuff. So I want to know why he took it down and what he was doing before. So there's definitely room to have conversation and so forth.
She said it's a comedy skit show on Comedy Central.
Oh, a Key and Peele. Okay. See, that's the thing. We don't really watch TV, so we don't like know what the outside world is doing.
That's not. I mean, we can always.
We can. Yeah.
Yeah. So that doesn't stop us.
Very true.
Yeah. Comedy is something I think would be very new to the table.
Very true.
Yeah. Bring that out more. Because I mean, there are some certain things that are like really funny that we do. It's just like bringing that to the audience and stuff like that. And I like a good laugh. I also like picking on myself. So that'll be pretty cool. So, okay, now what are you thinking about?
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, okay, we saying that's pretty cool. Now let's brainstorm it. So how would we go about this? Yeah, like.
I originally said Jason because I just thought of him, but I think we should look within ourselves to see what things we do that we take too seriously. Like, we could do I see something like negative energy or something dark. Because spiritualists love to pull out sage and stuff. I'm just thinking of stuff. We love to pull out sage and love to clear space, but we're creating that space. So we can possibly do like a skit of like a boomerang is when you have something that goes constantly over and over and over.
Yeah.
We essentially like I don't know how this would play out, but like perhaps show a spiritualist constantly getting out sage, clearing the space, and creating the negative entity again. Sage, negative entity again, and somehow make fun of that. Or something. I'm just making up stuff as I go. So,
okay. So, going with what you're saying, hear me out. So, my question is now, how would we present that on the podcast?
Oh, it wouldn't be on the podcast. It would be something recorded and then
be shared on our channel.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like a live thing. No.
Okay, so it's something that we'd have to.
Yeah. It would be like an actual video we edit and like we do multiple takes of and so forth. Yeah, you couldn't do that like live. I guess you could, but we aren't like freaking. Like comedians, you know, so
yeah,
weird.
Okay, so that's something we could do. Yeah, that's kind of funny because I feel like something I could definitely pick on is like, you know, when you're spiritual and you're dealing with other people's vibes. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that meme where I don't watch this show. It's some old show. I know there's just like this cartoon kid. He's meditating in his bedroom, and he's like trying to turn this negative energy to peacefulness when it comes to like him hating people. I don't know. It's some old show that whatever. But it's just like I know a lot of like being with some spiritual friends, we always pick on like us and like how we are with other people. Like, okay, yeah, she came in with that negative shit, so we're gonna have to sage her ass later. You know, like you know what I mean? Kind of like funny stuff like that. or you know what, like no, her vibrations are low. So you know what, we just gonna leave that. You leave her ass over there and let her vibrate on low, and we just gonna, you know, funny shit like that. We've done like I've done some stuff like that, but yeah, or just like some off the wall shit. Like there's a good friend of mine's, her name's Isis, and when we get together, we say some pretty dark shit, and it's very funny. Like she's like, you know, I just hate people. She's like, you know, a war would be good, you know, just kill like half the population, restart over again, you know, change some shit up. And I'm like, but her boyfriend, he's a good, he counteracts her. And he's like, no, that's mass genocide. We don't want to do that. You know, we love people. And she's like, ah. But I don't know. We just laugh about shit like that because it's like we talk about shit that people think of, but they don't talk about. But it's hilarious. I don't know. I just feel like that's some funny stuff I can like.
I hear you do. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a growing experience for us both because I know.
Yes, King of the Hills. Yes, that meme. Sorry. Yes, King of the Hill. That. Yeah. Sorry.
Good. I was saying that I feel like this will be a journey, a spiritual expansion for us both because I know that you can be funny by yourself, and I know I can be funny by myself. But how do we do that together? How do we coexist together? How do we create a space together? You know, so that'd be interesting to see how this occurs because I feel like it's going to allow us to grow together along with the podcast, as considering the progression that we progress when you progress. You know.
Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good thing so far with a comedy skit.
I'm just texting the people like I'm trying to get the show on the road like now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So that would be pretty good because I mean I have a few things that I would love to like bring out and make fun of it. I'm trying to see because there's other shit. It's something that I actually have to just like allow it to come through because I don't know. I just oh, okay. There's actually at work, there's me and this guy. He's very funny. He comes in and he's a guest, but we say like the slickest shit to each other. And it's very funny. So he'll come in and he'll say like something's off with him. Like, I don't know. And, you know, I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Your little heart chakra is off. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get my chakras. I'm trying to spend it because, you know, they were spinning a little crookedly. So I don't think he knows about chakras, but we to the degree, but he's like, yeah, my chakras are a little crooked at the moment. So I'm just trying to adjust them. You know, my little chakra here is moving, and he'll do little stuff like that. And it's just like, your ass don't know nothing about chakras, but it's just funny stuff that we do. And it's just like natural. So I'm just thinking about all that crazy stuff that other like spiritual people do, or just like one thing I know I say sometimes is like, yeah, nah, I don't fuck with her. And they're like, why? I'm like, cause her energy stink. And I just don't want to deal with her energy. It's just stink right now, you know? And people will look at me like, what the fuck do you mean her energy stink? I'm like, her energy just stink. I just don't fuck with that right now. And I don't know. I just think of these crazy shits that I say out loud, and people, I don't know, it seems normal to me, but people are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But I love it. I love it. But yeah, what's your funny stuff? I'm putting mine out. What's your funny
I can't be funny on cue. I'm only funny when I don't try to be, so I have no idea. I don't have funny stuff. I don't know. Yeah, stuff just happens with my funny.
What's your type of funny?
I don't know. What are you asking? What do you mean? My type of fun?
Funny? You say you funny by yourself. So by yourself, what's your funny?
I respond to other people's sense of humor, and I'm just funny from that perspective. I can't. It's not something I say, hey, I'm going to say this. This will be funny. Ha ha. No, you say something like, okay, I want to say this. That'll be funny. I can respond to you. I respond. I'm a Pisces rising. I adapt, you know, all the time. When my tables at my job, with friends, I'm funny as a result of you. So it really depends on I wouldn't know, honestly. I have no idea what I would say or what I would do unless I'm in the moment and I would just allow something to happen.
I think, well, okay, what's yours? And now I'm thinking about it. One thing, like when you said you adapt, one of your funny things I do notice is that all of us could be talking about something, but you respond in the most outwardly ways, and it's hilarious.
And I don't know I'm doing it though unless someone says. You see what I'm saying? How I don't know it's funny unless we're all laughing.
Right.
You know?
Like I think the most recent one I can think of is when, I don't know, we got mom? Not mom. You talking about you shooting yourself?
I said that?
Yeah, because me and Jason were talking about paintball guns. And I was like, oh yeah, you can shoot yourself with paintball. You was like, and then you just randomly said, you know, I wonder what, like,
I did say, okay.
Yeah. He was like, I wonder what it'd be like if I like shot myself in the hand. Like, you know, I'm just curious. Like, what did you say?
I forgot. I don't know what I said.
He just said something.
Something like, that's pretty much what I said, but I guess I worded it differently.
He worded like, I'm just curious what it'd be like if I just shot myself in the hand. Like, I don't care for the pain part, but I just want to, you know, know the experience. And we're just looking at him like, what do you, okay. And so we were laughing and staring at him. We was like, okay, you know what? Start small. Go get a paintball, put it in the freezer, and then just shoot yourself in the hand. It means, start there, build yourself up to shooting yourself in the hand with a real bullet. And we were just going on like he was considering it. But he'll say these things that are really out there, and it's just hilarious.
I kid you not, they never feel out there to me. I'm just talking. When I speak, I have no idea how I'm going to be perceived. I just say stuff. I never think about that ever. I don't want to. That's a lot to think about. But yeah, I just say stuff. And Sheena Love said that, like, now I'm only funny. Quotations. I'm only funny when I'm not trying to be. That shit's funny to me. She thinks that's. I don't know how that's funny. She thinks it's funny though. That's good.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, like, okay, that's great. That's wonderful.
That's his thing. It's funny. He'll say things. I don't know. You just have to be in the, like he said, he adapts. You just have to say something, and to us, it's very out there, just in a funny way. Because Darius will say something. Darius has this thing where he'll say something like you just didn't see coming. Like, how they say that caught me off. Like, it was kind of like something snuck inside of you and came out, and you just presented with it, and it's just like, and you just look at Darius, and he's totally like, like that's normal. I was just like, no, Darius, that's not normal.
I guess that's where I'm fun with. I don't know how to be normal. I don't know what that means.
Literally.
Darius with the facial expression still. Okay.
True. He does have if I'm doing something, Darius would naturally does this hand thing where I told him like later, I was like, I like how you went like this, and you just shut everything down. You shut all of the energy down. You did that a couple of times. You'll be like, I'll say something like, yeah, you were doing this, and you're like, no. So he shuts everything down. It's hilarious. And I'm just like, okay, so that's how you feel. And he was like, yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. And he just completely fine with it.
It's very flowy in the moment, like Pisces. Yeah, it is Ramahita. Ramahita says it's very flowy in the moment, like Pisces. That's my that was my biggest lack of not being in the moment and just trying to think of something to say that was funny, as opposed to just something coming out. And nowadays I don't feel like I think ever. I kid you not, I don't know what thinking feels like anymore. I feel like I just talk to my guides, I talk to my own energy, but I don't think. I don't know what that means. I go to like an intuitive place to receive stuff, but I don't know what thinking is anymore. I was saying this at the park. I'm like, am I thinking right now? I don't know. So do you think? So what is thinking to you? Define thinking.
Thinking feels like I'm going in my work. It feels like I'm going in my workshop and I'm just like moving stuff I'm getting parts for something.
So are you like seeing are you like, it's like an intuitive place you go to? Or you just literally like a mental, are you hearing stuff?
It's just a matter of getting a bunch of different stuff. You got to remember I'm a Virgo. Okay. So that's where we're mental. So I'm always thinking about stuff. So it literally feels like I'm gathering pieces and putting stuff together.
So it's a feeling. It's what it is. I'm trying to just like define it, because whenever I think, I guess, like I see stuff. I guess I'm daydreaming. Or you like not daydream, but you're creating a space you can see in your mind.
I mean, I think differently. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Very true, because I don't know what thinking is.
I think on different, for lack of better words, I think on different levels of stuff.
Okay.
So let's just say average day, I may need to think about something. I'll stop, and it feels like I'm going in my head. It feels like I'm retrieving something and I'm putting stuff together.
So would you consider that thinking or receiving intuitive information?
Not intuitive.
It's not intuitive to you?
Intuitive for me is a matter of, the best way I can describe it is, if I went to the edge of a cliff somewhere and I'm like feeling the wind and that is like intuitive. That's like intuitive for me. But thinking is like, okay, I need to go walk in my room and go get this. Okay, I need to go in the kitchen and it's like when you're cooking. Okay, I need this ingredient, I need that ingredient, and I put it together.
I don't do that. I literally like ask, should I do this? And I wait for someone to come and I do that. I kid you not. So I guess I don't think. But I feel like I literally do that all the time, dude. Like I literally question myself, okay, should I do this or that? Let me receive something really quick. I try to receive everything. I used to think. I used to like feel as if I should do this and that, but I feel like that wasn't working for me because I don't feel like I made progress in that stage of my life. I feel like since like I met you, I want to say like since I turned 26 is when things really start to shift. I turned 26 in August, the first week of August. This August 6th. And that's when things really start to shift in like a way of me just perceiving things differently. Around that time I didn't meet Jason Amani, but around that time I felt as if it was important for me to be intuitive all the time. I just feel like why would this physical body not utilize the godlike form that I already possess? You know, it just made sense for me to tap into my spiritual gifts all the time. It just like, why not be intuitive all the time? You know, so I don't know. I feel like I think intuitively. I feel like I go to a place to think, to receive from my guides, from my higher self, or from me. You know, interesting. So you're literally kind of interesting. I want to know what like Jason does and Loretta and how they think. How do you guys think? What is thinking to you? What does that mean? What is thinking? When you think of that word, what are you doing? Like paint the picture though. If are you seeing stuff? Are you feeling something? Are you mental like him? Are you kind of just like I want to be able to define what that is you're doing. I don't know how to do that. So you say you kind of like, okay, I got to go in my room to do this, and I go in there. You're not like waiting on something to respond to you. You kind of just doing it.
I already know it. It's a matter of I already know it. It's just like
okay.
It's like this. That's what I'm saying. It's different levels. If I'm thinking, it's like okay, cooking. I know what do I want to cook. I'm like okay, I go by my taste buds. I want to cook this, so I think what matches that. And then
I want to say that no one ever thinks. It's like we're all just receiving something that's already there. Does it make sense to you?
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but yeah. I feel like if I do that in a different way,
like jump in your mind like for a second just to feel that. Because I hear what you're saying, but I want to feel it. You know,
that's not much of a feeling.
I know, but I want to feel what you're. Does it make sense? Like I want to receive what you do to think.
But that's why I say I think in different levels of stuff.
Yeah,
but that's a basic way. But then if I want to like do stuff, then I multi-think, which is a different thing. Okay. So then I'll get a bunch of things, or I get a bunch of whatever. I gather a lot of different things to create something that I want. So my thing is, okay, my center point, this is my center point, and then I retrieve wherever I need to go to get that. Or if I don't have it, then I can go to a space to receive. But in my everyday life, it's like, oh, okay, I need to think, oh, I want to put this together, 2 + 2, this, oh, I need to do this. My mom may know, let me text her, ask her.
So I do think, I think at work, I think at my job, because I find myself like saying, okay, I already marked the table, now I got to pre-bust this. Okay, I guess I do think in that way, but I feel like I tune in more to myself. When I say tune in to myself, I mean like, so when I first started being intuitive, I was more of a medium. I would talk to my guides, so I talk to different entities. I channel their energy. Now what I've been doing is kind of receiving from myself. Like I'll tap into the energy of it without trying to. Okay, so let's say I want to go somewhere. Should I go now or later? I'll get the answer like that. I'll know when to go, but I won't necessarily talk to anyone to get it. If that makes sense. I'll kind of just cut out the middleman, which is my guides or my higher self or whatever. I'll just look at the energy of what is best for me. And so by asking a question, you're essentially opening up a space for that answer to appear. And only the answer for that question can appear in that space. Does that make sense? And that's how I kind of ask myself as I go. But only time I guess I'm not doing this when I am at work. It's the only time I can think that I'm not actively trying to be intuitive. I'm most physical at my job. I'm the most physical at my job. That is very true because I have to be as a server, you have to be very attentive. You can't just casually serve tables. You gotta kind of have a list in your head of things you have to do. If that makes sense. But I only know this list in my head because it was given to me. Like, hey, step, you know. Does that make sense? Sheena Love says, it's a combination of what you both described as thinking for myself. So she's also doing like very like mental, physical kind of stuff. And she's also like perceiving different energies and so forth.
The best way a visual came to me to share with you, like the best visual to paint a picture of how I think is, let's just say, and this is be perfect for you because we got this around. Let's just say, I'm going to say it. He can see it, but you guys will get it. I think like a tree. You see the tree right here? When I need to retrieve stuff, the roots are down below and they grow. They get stuff. I want something new. That means a new little root is going somewhere. But it ultimately all comes back up to the tree. It all comes back giving that life. Then as that happens, I'm expanding. The root, you see the trees, you see the leaves, you see other branches. So in reality, it's like for me, I'm like, everything is at a source. Everything comes back to a source. Everything is all connected and it passes through and come through one way. So most of my stuff I'm retrieving, I'm growing different roots down below and getting stuff. But once I get it, that nutrients or whatever comes back and it feeds the rest of the tree, making the rest of it expand.
Okay.
So that's how I guess you can say, a good visual that incorporates kind of all that I do. But each branch represents a different avenue of something I learned, i.e. cooking, i.e. people's stuff, i.e. art.
Interesting.
So that's a perfect visual for me, is a tree. And then now when I told you the other things, it's like when I do multi-thinking, then it's kind of like, okay, that tree represents that, but now I can create something that holds the vibration of another thing that I think of. So I could say, for example, I'll set like a lake. So that lake is like, okay, this here is where I go to pretty much get in that space to retrieve a lot of different things that's going to piece stuff together. You kind of get what I'm saying?
I do.
So I'm gonna stop right there. But yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I was gonna say. So do you feel you have to try to be intuitive? Like when I mean try, I mean like, is it a separation between you? So you feel there's a separation between you thinking and you being intuitive? Not to say you have to, not to say you're like not very intuitive, but you feel you have to like flip a switch to be intuitive.
It's more of a few switches. I can, if I don't need to think, I go to receive. That can be intuitive.
But it's like, can be instant or like kind of
instant.
Okay.
And then if I need to do both, like I'm thinking and I need to allow the intuition to come in at the same time, I can do that.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing all the time. I'm thinking as I allow. Like I'm thinking, I have a question and then I'll get an answer. And it's just kind of this process of thinking and allowing. That's what I do. That's a perfect way to describe that. Yeah. Great.
Because for me, sometimes I don't need to allow it. It's like I already have it. It's like I don't need to ask about it. It's just like, oh, I did this already. So it's like, oh, it's like pretty much remembering, oh, how did I do this? Okay, done.
Shanita Love says, honestly, I speak to myself and me, myself, and I. I as in the all-seeing, myself as in guides, my higher self, and me in the physical. Nice. Okay, I agree with that. That makes perfect sense because I do understand that your spirit guides are you. My spirit guides are me, so on and so forth. But I completely understand. Yes, and your physical view is kind of like the receiver, and the higher self is the interpreter that sends the reception that you receive. I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Why not? We're learning to work as one, she says. Brown Brahita says, I'm mental and feeling. When I combine them, I can feel myself tapping into my intuition. My thoughts become more connected to spirit, and then my feelings hold that space, if that makes sense. Let me read that again. When I combine them, I feel myself tapping more into my intuition. My thoughts become more connected to spirit, and my feelings hold that space. Okay. My thoughts become connected to spirit. So my thoughts I receive mentally through spirit, as almost like claircognizance. My emotions hold that space. So your emotions. So you probably like. So you ask the question mentally to receive, and you feel the answer. Maybe. Brahita, is that what do you get from that?
Well, think about like, you ever heard of emotional intelligence?
Yes, you get to perceive the emotions of everyone just naturally, casually.
Like it's like an emotion, like what we would define as feeling someone out. Like, okay, their vibe is like, that's an emotional intelligence.
Okay, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But there's different types of like an intelligence. I'm just trying to bring words together. So like she was saying, she feels and think, it's kind of like you're combining that together, like with her spirit and stuff. So she's combining it. It's like the mind kind of goes there, but then the feeling lets you process it. Like if you didn't know that this was hot or cold, something has to process this is hot or cold. But you can go to this source of whatever it is, fire. This fire is the source. You can go there. Feeling would be, oh shit, that's hot. Let me not touch it, but I feel the warmth. You kind of go to saying? Yeah. But I'm not now. That's just how I'm putting it to understand it. But in actuality, if you kind of really just look at it, we're combining all of that stuff. We're using a lot of different senses, physical, or spiritual, whatever, and we use that to think however we need to think. So we receive that may work for you, receiving, you ask and boom, you receive that, boom. You did the part of going out there and it comes to you.
Totally.
And then, some people it's just like a remembering or a retrieving. So it's just what all works with us. But I believe there's many different ways with it.
Very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very different ways. Be sure to like this video, you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Well, you already subscribed, but like it, Yeah.
I feel like we all progressed our thinking in this. We all thought about how we thought, how we think.
I was definitely thinking that earlier, because I feel like just growing up, my mind was so busy with stuff, just so busy with stuff. Now, there's nothing there. I mean, I can put stuff there, and I know when too much stuff gets here, I clear it out. But for the most part, there's nothing. Like right now, there's nothing. I'm not thinking of anything. And that to me is kind of, is that how you are? Like right now, are you thinking of stuff?
Right now, it's like I have a bunch of stuff. Like I'm here in this space, but I have a bunch of stuff that's around that I have access to.
Interest. Well,
I'm aware of it, but I'm
aware of it. But are you like, what are you thinking now?
I'm just in this space, but I see it, so I can focus and be here and not be there. Okay. But if I was talking to you like right now, I could be thinking of I could be making something in the back of my head as I'm talking, like I'm doing right now. But I'm thinking and talking to you at the same time.
So, but if I didn't ask that question, would you be thinking anything? Would anything come to you? You can tap into it, but would you be naturally doing it? Just like, does your mind ever blank? Casual, like, are you naturally ever neutrally not thinking of anything?
I'm always thinking of stuff.
Interesting.
But that's how I flow. I feel right. Now I can stop it when I need to, but that's how I flow.
Okay, but like naturally without doing much, you are.
I'm always.
You are. Interesting. That is very interesting. I could never do that. I would get attached to the things I'm thinking of. Interesting. That's so fascinating to me. So fascinating. My mental, Brown Burrito says, my mental aspect channels information from spirit, and then my senses make the connection precisely, or processes it like that. He said, exactly, yes. I feel my mind expanding from this conversation. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. That was nice. But yes, it's interesting. Yeah. Because right now, I don't want to, like right now, nothing. I can go through, but they aren't like here or there. They're like over there. They're like not even in my space. They're like down the street or something.
Yeah, for me, thinking is like, it feels good. It's like if I'm charged, or like that's how my systems run. I'm a thinker. I think of different things. That's just naturally on. If I'm not thinking, I'm just doing that to not think, and it's kind of like I get bored.
So it's something you have to do. Why would you not think that? What condition?
Like if I'm like, oh, let's turn everything off for a minute. That's really it. Like, let me stop thinking for a minute. And I can do that.
What would be the gain from that, though? Why would you do that for you?
It's just more of like when you turn your phone off. Like, why not let the phone die? Type of thing. Okay. Then you turn it back. Like you turn the phone off to turn it off. But I sometimes turn the phone off and I feel better. Like, I don't know about y'all, but if y'all ever go out in nature and leave your phone in the fucking car, you feel better. Okay. But for me, it's just like, let me stop thoughts and sometimes I just want to be simple and just focus on the breath. And that may be it. So it's more of a just, let's do this for a minute.
Interesting. But growing up, before you became super duper intuitive, you've always been that way, but like before you really understood your power, what were you thinking then?
I was always processing stuff even as a kid. I always seen things and processed it of how it could be this way, that way, or better or whatnot.
But let's say, was your mind ever like, for my mind, I was always daydreaming of things. I was creating spaces and feeling the energy out in that space. But as a result of that, I was never here to perceive this energy of this space. I know you said you were in this space to receive from that space, but what was your hindrance, intuitively speaking, as a kid? What stopped you from like having intuitive moments as a kid? I feel like we did, but like, you know what I mean? Like, what moment in your life? Was it the darkness phase you had? Was that it?
I just turned mine off because I kept being. I turned mine off because I was bored, and I felt like I was repeating life.
Okay, you did tell me about that. Okay.
So I turned mine off.
So for you, it wasn't a matter of you having to overcome something. It was just a matter of you flipping the switch back on, essentially.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
There's things I had to go, but as far as thinking goes, I was always processing and gathering. I've always was gathering data, learned. Okay, it was more of always constantly learning. This is what she did and she fucked up. I won't do that. Right. This is what this person did and they feel good. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. So it was always observation, learning, observation, processing. My mom would ask me stuff. I've always liked things that made me think because it was new. I felt this sense of every time I think and I think of something new, there's a sense of refreshment. I also feel like my body changes its chemistry and genetic makeup when I have these different thoughts. So it was always like this is normal. This is how I operate. Yeah.
I should do more. When I think after myself being in that energy too much, I don't know if it's, I guess I was going to say my Pisces rising, but that's an excuse. I should be able to do what I want to do at will. So I feel like I'll think of something and my energy will go to that space and I can retreat and bring it back, but it was there to begin with. I don't want that to happen. Does that happen to you?
What, like
you'll think of something, your energy will be in that space.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I can control it. I can separate myself from feeling it, but sometimes I go in there and like how she was saying, I think Brown Rahita, she was saying she feels it, or it processes it. Sometimes I go in there, but because of how much I've grown thus far, I can process it, and I actually have the feeling like, okay, shit, that made me mad, and I can think, okay, now why did this make me feel this way? So I like it.
Yeah, so you can essentially create a space where you can learn from the energy that you created yourself by giving. So what I was doing earlier today is I was creating space with 3 of my coworkers. And I was trying to figure out what would happen if we were to have a spiritual conversation with these 3 coworkers. And I was trying to just figuring out the energy, just knowing the energy of this person or that person, and what I can provide to them, what will occur. And I was doing that at the park. I was just going through that in my mind. So I guess that's what you're saying. And as a result of that, I found things that I need to work on myself. You know, and it's like I was watching a movie as a part of the movie, and then learning from learning as I did while being in the movie. Like I learned from being in the movie.
Right.
And I brought that back to this physical body. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brown Burrito says, I feel my mind expanding from this conversation because I usually don't explain this in words for others. And Shanita Love says, well, Mercury is retrograde, so this all makes sense. It is retrograde. I haven't really been paying attention to transits. I haven't done that in forever. I kind of wanted to really just be on a all-time high all the time, regardless of what's in the sky. But even with the Cancer moon, I feel like I should perhaps know more of what the moon is doing, since my moon is ruled by Cancer, and I'm going to be so much more affected by these things. I feel like that's kind of like I don't want to say it's a cop-out. I just want to be more in charge of what I'm doing in this life. I don't want to like rely, even though there are sheddings and so forth. Right now, there was a super moon. I was definitely affected by that. I know others who are affected by it as well. But I want to be able to be at peace all the time. All the time. Feeling good is my top priority. I mentioned this in the earlier parts of our podcast, like months ago, whatever. But feeling good is my top priority. I want to feel good all the time. If I'm not feeling good, something's wrong. Because everything I'm doing is trying to feel good. I make money to provide a sense of relief. That relief feels good. You know, so if I feel good, I feel like money will come as a result of feeling good, because these two are the same thing as far as I'm concerned. And because I'm thinking that way and I'm feeling that way, I'm creating that way as well. Okay. But yeah, Mercury retrograde. You know what that means? Kind of.
Stuff where you experience stuff when it's in retrograde. A lot of stuff come up. Yeah.
It's kind of like computers not working.
Yeah, no. I went through that
period of you allowing it to not dictate your life, but kind of, you know, play a role in your life, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken measures into not letting stuff affect me.
Yeah.
So, like when stuff happens, I'm like, I'm either not aware that if I am, I'm like, oh, okay, that's over there.
Precisely. That's something I'm at right now as well. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now what, buddy?
I feel like there was something you were saying, like when we were talking about like the thoughts and stuff like that. I had it. She was processing. I was saying it was when she processes it. I don't know what it was. It was just something about. What was the last thing she said?
My mental aspect channels or something.
It was a lot of stuff with the mind just being expanded and stuff. It's okay if it's gone, it's gone. But I'm trying to think of something when I was a kid that I'm just trying to retrieve it. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna waste the mental energy on it. But every time I say something mental, then it's like something is like trying to get me back over there.
So just go to that space. Don't deny it. I'll keep talking in the meantime. Definitely, I don't want to put the pressure on you or anything. But earlier today in the video, like 30 minutes ago or so, I did an attunement. I'm curious to know what you guys felt. I always ask this. I'm just curious to know, because I noticed that different people feel different things. I'm trying to make a connection of some sorts. And what I've got thus far is that when you feel nauseous from an attunement, it's because your energetic body has made an adjustment that your physical body now has to follow suit. You see what I'm saying? So all things are energy first. Thoughts, then emotions, then action. The action being the physical. Your body being physical is going to respond as a result of the energy. So if I'm sending you energy that causes a shift in you, you're going to have an experienced result. I mean, a physical result as a result of the energy I sent to you. So I'm wanting to know what that energetic experience was, what the physical experience was for you all. Was it a nauseous feeling? You know, was it, because if it's nauseous, like, yes, that's like a major kind of shift for you. But if it's something like, or your third eye was tingling, that's cool as well, but it's not as major, you know? So what were you guys feeling while that attunement occurred? And if you weren't on the podcast when it occurred, you can always rewatch the video and you'll feel it as well. Even if you were on the podcast when I gave you the attunement, you'll also notice once you rewatch this video, you'll feel the same energy, but in a different way because you've already gained the insight the first time. The second time you get the attunement, it's going to be different for you. So watch this video 18 times, just like 18 free attunements. Do it.
I think I just got it.
Perfect. Look at that. I just done talking.
When he was talking about thinking, I was gonna comment on or add on to the part where when he was saying when he'll go places, he'll feel it. And then I was gonna say there are things that you can do with your thoughts where I call it the observer state, where you can like detach from like everything, but you can watch the thought, like you can watch the thought and the scenarios and how you felt without being affected by it. It's kind of like best way I can describe it is like if you're sitting in a movie theater and it's on mute, so you can't really hear the music, like you can't really hear that someone's about to get killed, when you hear the music. It's like being in the observatory state where you have no feelings with it, but you just simply observe. You don't let, like, when someone punched this person, you don't let it bother you. So getting in that state.
What I usually do is like the energetic version of me in my mind is how I'm perceiving it, as opposed to looking on from the outside perspective.
Okay.
What I should do is like see myself and then see other people as well. But instead of like, I literally put myself in the shoes of that energy. That's probably why I feel what I'm feeling in that space, as opposed to just perceiving from an outside perspective.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Be the observer.
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Be the observer. Be the observer.
So Shanita Love says she's felt tingling in her arms and legs, and my heart rate also increased, filled with a strong sense of relaxation and love. Nice. Interesting. I wonder what that means. I would love to dissect that. What do you think that means, buddy? I tune your energy and you feel tingling in your arms.
That's the way she receives it.
But what did you think?
I mean, I can't really. I don't know. I'm not in Shanita to know. I'm not her, because like I can. No, what I mean is, I can say, okay, she felt something, she received something, but I can't tell you what it is that Shanita received, because Shanita may either know now, or Shanita may know later on, like, oh, when he did this, or when she meditates, when Darius did this, this is what happened, and then Shanita, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know her temple. I don't know her space, so it's like, but she got something, so that's what that means. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Shanita, I didn't mean to throw you on the table and dissect you like that. Yeah, he made me do it.
My burper's not there.
All right, Jay.
What does he do? He burps?
He burps like in every beginning.
I haven't seen any of his videos lately. He hasn't posted much videos, has he?
I don't think so, no.
I think he's shedding as well. I think we're all kind of like removing old parts for ourselves and trying to figure out what I want to do next. Because I feel like a month ago, I was wanting to do what I'm about to do, but I didn't start doing it yet. Yeah. I don't have anything to say. I'm just like talking. But yeah. The tingling is felt when I'm in a state of being. Have you seen the movie Lucy?
I love Lucy. That's like my number one favorite.
Lucy. I know it's the one where she connects to that computer at the end.
She becomes everything.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I have seen the movie. Yes.
That's my favorite. I need to rewatch that.
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
There was so much in that movie. I was like, oh, they let the world know this now. I was going to say, what?
But if you aren't in tune, it's just a movie. Yeah, they had no idea when they saw the movie, like what the fuck was going on. She's like, oh, cool, that bitch is she's a bad bitch. That's what they were probably perceived. That bitch is bad. Scarlett Johansson, I want to fuck her. That's probably what straight men are thinking. Like, oh, she looks fuckable. That's probably but at the same time, because that vibration has been put out there, people who need to receive it received it already, and it's going to create a vibration further. Momentum will grow as a result of it. Yes. Yeah,
there's some old movies I'm thinking I would love to go back, like Lucy and then The Matrix and all that.
I remember seeing The Matrix in the theaters for the very first time, thinking like, holy shit, I just witnessed something phenomenal. I knew at the time I didn't perceive the spiritual aspect of it, but I just felt like this is something massive. And I remember that feeling like it was yesterday. I went with my mother, and it was just an awesome experience. Awesome. Totally, The Matrix was the shit.
Like Shia LaBeouf has this shirt where he's saying that The Matrix wasn't just a movie, it's a documentary. And I was like, what? That boy conscious. It was funny stuff. Which, I'm curious, since you guys are on, what are your thoughts on Jim Carrey right now? Like,
What's he doing?
like if you've seen certain things, like when people interview Jim Carrey seems totally out there in a good way. Like, you wouldn't know what he's talking about if, like, most people think he's crazy. Like, there was an interview that he did, and he was just talking about, he was just saying stuff, but to others, it just sounds like, what the fuck is wrong? But when you get what he's saying, it's like Jim Carrey is on some other stuff, like they ain't comprehending. So I'm just curious, because he's been popping up like in my news feed, and I just been seeing him randomly, like, and like on like Facebook or Instagram, like that. And I'm just like, oh, interesting.
I had a phase where Ouija boards were my shit. I used to fuck with Ouija boards hardcore, and our YouTube experiences of people who mess with Ouija boards. And when he has an experience, he did, I think, with Ellen or Oprah or something. It was very entertaining to witness and to have that perspective come from a big celebrity like him. So I like him in the sense that he's willing to share his all parts of him. I feel like he's authentic as fuck. That's all he's extremely authentic. He's at peace with what he's being presented with, and he lets that shit flow out all the time. And it just flows. And that's why he's naturally gifted, you know?
Mm-hmm. So Shanita Love says, okay, so when she's on the plane and runs into the bathroom and she's returning into just energy, that's the best way to describe the tingle she felt while she received that attunement. So you were essentially returning to your cork was floating naturally. I don't know if you were in that video, it's just the cork floating naturally. How we're the cork, and how whenever we feel like shit, the cork, like, it's like we're pushing our cork underwater. But if we just relax and feel good, or just relax and don't make an effort to feel anything, our cork will naturally float above water because we're naturally floating in a space of high vibration. So that's what you're saying. You kind of retrieve your cork. Your cork is now floating. Karen Joe says, watch the Dolo video on Jim Carrey. Dolo, she interviewed him. Remember, she told us about that. We're at Whole Foods. Dolo, Dolo. We should interview him, and he has more subscribers than we do, but nothing crazy to the point where he will be like above us, you know. So he's like the perfect place.
Got nobody above us.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He's not like, he's like Infinite Ward is like mass. Everyone knows that nigga, you know. But like Dolo, he's like, okay, he's more like, you know, in our realm right now. So it'd be awesome to do that. I'm gonna write that down. Dolo. We should message him today. Why not? Why not? Why not? Dolo. Anything else, buddy, you want to talk about?
What would I want to say? Changes in the air. Changes in the air.
Oh, in what way exactly?
Just like you were saying, people are shedding stuff.
Yeah. Oh, for me, I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I feel like it's going to help you as well. Don't take that shit personal, because if we are spiritual beings, so we're shedding, but people who aren't spiritual are just pissy as fuck right now. I kid you not, they're moody as shit. They don't know why. They're just defining it as physical experiences. But one of my coworkers is moody as shit. He's sometimes happy, sometimes he's not. He's a cool guy, but it's like sometimes I like the guy, sometimes I don't. It's like you're doing too much, dude. But I get that he doesn't have the same perspective on life we do. And as a result of that, his version of shedding is being manifested as very physical experiences. So I can't take it personal. And something I was guided towards to do by Jason is to talk to one of my guides to be able to see life in the way of being at peace. See life through the eyes of peace at all times. And what I realized is that I need to see people on an energetic basis. So if someone comes to me and they're in a pissy mood, I'm gonna look at their energy and see, okay, why they're pissy. They ain't mad at me. Oh, they're mad at that. Okay, we cool, buddy, but go over there. You know what I mean? So I'm wanting you to do the same. I want you to see people as gods, because you're a god, I'm a god, we're all gods, we're all creators. Don't feel as if someone else's negative state of mind is a personal attack on you. It's just not, you know? So yeah, I just don't feel as if, don't take it personal. People are shedding right now. I feel like it's gonna be like this till February. For sure. But I think the worst has already passed. Totally. I think the worst has already passed. Like I want to say like a month ago, I was going through like the major shit. Jason as well. But I feel we've evolved drastically because of it, though. But yeah.
At some point, we're going to have to bring Jason on so y'all know.
Right? He's been in the comments before, but I don't know if that matters. But he's going to come on.
He always talks about, so we have to bring a point. So
I want to interview the guy. Totally. But yeah. What are you guys eating lately? I'm just curious. What are people are watching? I feel like my diet is changing drastically. Like I was vegan before, but now I feel like I'm like almost raw. Not that I don't mind cooking, it's just I have no inclination to do so. Like even I eat like broccoli raw with ketchup all the time. I ate some carrots and Dijon mustard. That's what I'm doing. I don't thinking of cooking something. I just don't. Nothing excites me to cook. But at the same time, I ate a burger yesterday and it was fucking phenomenal. My energy level was high. I felt high vibe the entire time. So like I'm extremely raw as fuck, and I'm not. Then I'm raw as fuck, then I'm not. And it makes sense to me. I kid you not, it's just my body's acclimating to that state of being. Some days I can tell the energy's off and I'll eat as healthy as possible. But yesterday I was really feeling good and I just ate whatever. I ate a burger at my job. It was awesome, you know. But yeah, what are you guys eating? Have you noticed like your eating patterns changed? Have yours changed, Thaddeus?
Mine, I believe, they're still the same. I want to say it's still the same. I may do something different because my body is running differently now. So I'm not sure. I'm still be vegan, obviously, but I don't know like what I may add to it because my stomach is weird. So it's just my stomach. But my body's just been running very differently. I feel like once my body gets adjusted to what's going on with me, maybe I'll know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like right now I'm in this period of I can't, like you can't say it's like
Okay.
Yeah. But for the most part, the same.
Have you been doing stuff? Have you like removed certain things you used to do lately? Like for me, I don't smoke weed anymore. I will smoke weed. I don't mind doing it socially, but I don't bring it in my home anymore. So stuff like that, like certain habits or certain things you were doing.
I haven't removed. I've been more adding. So
Okay.
I've been adding stuff.
That worked.
But I've been adding stuff. The biggest thing right now that I know is that my body, because I was running, it's like, okay, at some point, someday, I'm going to have to take a day where I do nothing. And I'm just going to have to like chill and sleep and just stay in the fucking bed. Like that's what's been coming to me. I don't know if I'm just going to go with that. God damn it. Cause that's just what's been happening. But besides that, I've just been adding stuff. Like, the stuff that's been adding is just new people to like chill, hang out with, different stuff. So it's just been a matter of adding and expanding for me. And adjusting to like my fucking body. Because when I was talking with Jason, I think the other night, I was explaining to him what's happening, and he was like, okay, so he was like, you're on, because I was telling him, I was like, okay, I was like, on average, my body's been running on, we'll say level 80%. And I said, I adjusted it, now it's like at level 105%. And I adjusted again, and it's like at a level 135%. So he's like, oh, so you're like on hyperdrive. I was like, yes. It's like, I feel like hyperdrive needs to be my new normal. And then my body's going to adjust to that, and then I'm good. So that's what everything feels like. Like when I wake up, it's like zoom, everything's on, and it's like, okay. But it's not affecting me in a way where it's just like, it's like, okay, it's like I'm running, but I don't feel stressed out about it. It's like, oh, this is what we're going to get used to now. So it's like, I just have to let whatever catch up to that. But it's fun. But I know I need to take a day and just like not do shit. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. It's been fun as fuck. Very fun. Very hilarious. So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So
if you were to define this year, what would it be for you? For me, it's like self-love. Self-love has been my main priority this entire year. It's self-love, my body, my gifts, and so forth. How would you define this year for you? Like what is your like main goal for this year? Well, what was it? Not necessarily your goal, but like what did you get from this year thus far? Because it's December already, dude. So it's usually over.
This year I got delete everything and create with what's within.
Sense, yeah.
So I've been deleting everything and just what comes to me to be in this space. Yeah. And it's not actually, I take it back. It's not even a matter of replacing. It's delete everything and go with what's already in there.
Is it you deleting because it's not you? It doesn't serve you, or like
any aspect to me, this way, this form.
It's a combination of
a lot of stuff that need to be deleted. Yeah. It's just, and it's like, oh, delete. Yeah. Even memories.
It's kind of like you're upgrading. Like you got a new processor if you think about it.
Yeah, new processor.
Okay.
It's just like delete and everything just operating differently. Like before, I would say the most noticeable thing for me would be before my memory was on my memory. Okay, let me say this. I'm gonna just say it. My memory was like this. I remembered it. I remember when you fucked up 2 years ago, what you want, what you did.
Yes. But nowadays, it's not. You're very present to the point you forget shit that happened last week.
That's happening. Yeah. I had a friend who I was hanging out with her a few days ago, and she had to remind me what I was doing with my life when we all were hanging out.
Dude, tell me about
she was like, yeah, we did this. She was telling me the friends that she met. I was like, you met them?
And
I was just like, oh my gosh. So, but if you were to, if someone was to tell me that was going to happen to me maybe like 2 years ago, I would have panicked because I had this fear of forgetting, you know, but that stuff is being deleted and a new way of remembering has took part. So like a new operating system. So it's like, okay, yeah, this what do they call it? Motherboard isn't gonna work no more. So I know, right? Like, only because my friend just
okay.
This motherboard, it has to go. So we need to put this in. And I have been using memory in a different way that works, and everything that just doesn't serve me no more had to go. Like, is it really going to serve you that you went to Halloween Horror Nights and whatnot?
Correct. That is my life.
So it's like,
I completely agree. Jason knows, like literally, if I said, we do intuitive stuff all the time. He'll ask a question and he'll know exactly what I said, like on Tuesday 3 months ago. It's like, nigga, how do you know this? Yeah. And he'll ask me something I did yesterday. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm here. I'm doing this right now. That was then. I have no idea. I completely understand.
Yeah,
totally do.
That's what's been known. That's what I would say this year has been deleting and creating from what's within.
Okay, I think for me, I've been deleting, but as a result of removing parts of myself I thought I was, but I'm not. So it's really, I define that as self-love though, because that wasn't me. Then what is? Oh, this is. I need to love that more. Not think of that. Think of this. You know. So for me, it was like self-love. But what you're saying it also complies to what I did as well. Mm-hmm. Jason actually just texted me. That's what he says. I don't think it's podcast appropriate. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know why I said that. But yeah. What about you guys? What's something you notice that you guys are evolving from this year, or you learned as a result of this year? Because the year is essentially over, dude. Like it's over.
Mm-hmm. You know, just to help jog your memories, you know, a good friend of mine was telling me, you know, hoeing is okay when it's done right. And we had a good talk about that. You know, she was just like, yeah, you know, nowadays he would be criticizing hoes, but, you know, hoeing is okay when you do it right. And I was just like, oh, okay, you know, you got to get it how you live. She's like, yeah. She was like, it's stupid when you with somebody, but when you're not hoeing is a good, you know, new sport. It's a sport that's really not seen in a good light. So she was breaking it down for me, you know, and I was like, okay, well, you know, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You know, you got to get it. She's like, yeah, it's a sport, you know, it's exercise. She was telling me the benefits of the sport hoeing and things like that. So it was quite fun. That's her experience. And yeah, one of the biggest things I can say I've learned about my damn self is that I need to be entertained. And I need new stuff.
Lately I've been bored as fuck. I need new kinds of entertainment. Like I've been finding, like I love Family Guy. I love it. I love video games, but I'm just needing like something to come, like something massive to just shake my world. I spoke of Skyrim before. You know Skyrim, that game I love. I need that. I need something to, like I want to be obsessed with something. I've yet to experience that in a long time, and I want that. Truly, I want to be I want to dive into something or someone. I don't mind what's up, but you know, like I want to like have something to like truly just feed my fuel for passion. I think that's coming for me. I don't know about for you, but it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 2018 will be a great year for video games. I'm excited. Spider-Man's coming out. I feel like Bloodborne 2 is coming out. I feel like some great things are coming out next year. I'm excited. PS4 Pro, all the like the high tech kind of systems came out this year, so all the games are going to come out for them next year. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Because the thing about technology that's awesome is that it builds momentum so much faster than we can physically. Because it's all it's doing. Right now we do this and we stop. We do this and we go a little further. There's certain things we have more interest in. Technology is always just constantly going in one direction, advancing at all times. So technology is advancing extremely fast, and I fucking love it. I love it. Truly.
I love technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's pretty much the gist of the podcast, you guys.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for like talking with us and helping us with ideas. I'm sorry, completely forgot. Oh my gosh, completely forgot. Thank you so much, Brown Brujita. Thank you, Shanita, for like, and Karen Joe. Thank you. Like, we were thinking of stuff to do, and now we got some stuff.
Quite a few things, actually.
Yeah, to like add on. So we'll definitely be putting that into effect. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all coming like in this space with us and like allowing. So now we can do some funny stuff and add on there. So that'll be pretty cool. So that's some homework for me and him to do. Really homework, but you know, home fun. Yeah. So
did you two things, kind of random. I want to say this on the podcast, so why not? Did you ever think about doing something with your internet, like upgrading it?
This guy from Comcast was talking to, or Xfinity, whatever the hell they want to be.
Same thing, Sean.
I have to ask my mom. He was talking about changing the TV, the internet, and some alarm system for only $100 in a month. So
$100 a month?
Yeah, all that incorporated. I have to ask her. He kind of told me, but I didn't really. I was trying to do stuff, so that'll be good.
Okay.
Having,
you know the kind of internet though.
He know I want faster internet. The guy was saying, the guy was like, I know y'all got slow internet here. He's like, trust me, I know. So it'll be faster. Okay. I would talk with them. We would talk before we go with that.
Totally, yeah, of course.
So,
but yeah, that 100. That's really good. I think you said TV and internet and security something. Yeah. Really good, yeah. My internet, I think it's 78, but I have like the best of the best. I have like some really good shit. That's what I want.
That's what he was saying, like 100. He was like, you want like the lingo for the speed. 100. So yeah, he was like asking like 100 or things going at 100 and 100. I was like, yeah, dude, that's, really that's what's up. I just have to talk with them and see what they say. So that's that. That's that with him. And then what's the second thing?
Would you want to go to Christian's Kitchen today?
No, I would, but I'm setting my money up for stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Because I got like stuff like put in certain things and I'm just waiting for like that next hit and then I'm like, okay, then I can do some more stuff.
Okay.
I still got to go shopping. Unless you want to pay for me,
I was say that, like maybe we split a pizza or something or like something. I don't want to spend like too much money. But I do want to go there. What about Bolé? That's also a cheaper alternative, healthy as fuck too.
It's up to you. You want to go?
You're not gonna get anything you said at Bolé either. If you go to Bolé,
like I said, if you got me.
True. It'll be like 20 something for us both. It's not too bad. I don't necessarily need to.
This is how we make our decisions. By the way, you guys are watching. You're witnessing.
My time is like, no, it's not. You don't need to. Like, why, nigga?
Damn.
I kind of want to, though.
He's thinking.
He's saying I should pick up a shift if I do. Like, damn, it's from fucking Rolay, $20, nigga. It's a lot of work. I guess not, then, dude. That's annoying. I guess I have food at home. I should probably cook that and stuff. I have leftover vegan food from Thanksgiving. I have like a shit ton of mac and cheese that's vegan. I didn't touch. I touched it, but I didn't eat like all of it,
Mm-hmm.
I can eat that. Okay. I have some stuff, broccoli and stuff at home I can eat. Okay. I guess we don't need to go to Christopher's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
I believe that's everything, right?
Oh, Karen Jo says she's unable to watch us fully at the earlier time now. Any plans on moving back to 5 p.m.? Unfortunately, if you notice now, it's got much darker just as a result because daylight savings time switched or something. I don't know if it went forward or backwards, but it's darker earlier now.
Yeah, right now, what time is it?
It's 5:27 now. Usually the podcast are like for an hour. If we were to be on at 6 p.m., it'd be dark.
Yeah, you can't see us.
It would be like bad lighting. So for the quality of the podcast, 4 p.m. works best.
Yeah.
If you watch, you can always watch the replay, of course. But if you watch the replay and you have a question or something you want to input, leave a comment or like email us.
Yeah.
Don't feel as if you aren't a part of it just because you can't watch all of it live.
Yeah. Just ask stuff and then we'll reply. It comes to both of our phones.
Yeah.
But that's, like you said, we just can't do it at 5 because the setting, now if something happens and, we in the studio, we inside somewhere. Course, then we can throw it back to 5 real fast. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of, we work with where we're at. So, yeah. So at some point we're going to get a studio in the future. Throwing it out there. Yeah. That'd be nice. in
What is
time.
up with Mimi? I haven't spoken to her in a while. I did. I texted her the other day. But how's she doing?
I haven't talked to her in
Interesting.
a long time.
Interesting. I feel like we should interview her as well. Why not? I want to email her and text her now. Why not? Why not? Why not?
So, yeah. She said go get. She said or get some lights. We have a light over
But it's
here.
not like the thing about lighting and natural lighting is the best lighting ever. You can't purchase natural lighting. You see what I'm saying? In order for lighting to be phenomenal, you have to like spend massive amounts of money or just go outside. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, might as well just go outside and do it when we can with natural lighting, because natural lighting is truly the best.
Yeah, like if I think it was our whatever podcast we started to do it. You can. I think it was 2 podcasts ago when we tried to turn the light on.
Yeah, and it just didn't look the same. It didn't look good. It didn't look good.
Yeah, like click on the one I think 2 podcasts ago, and then fast forward to
it's like the very like, it's not even like the end. It's like half mark. You notice a drastic change from the half
right.
mark on.
Like it's kind of getting dark now, and then when we turn the light on, it just
looks weird. It doesn't look like quality stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Same question. Oh, Jason's here. What do I most need to know right now? Well, I'm going to answer your question about Clarissa now, Jason, because I wanted to. I was literally going to type it up, but like, I'm doing this. I shouldn't. It's kind of rude. But Jason, for you, especially to know that when you texted that, I immediately got that. So you know my situation with that person that I talked to you about. I immediately got him and his girlfriend on Instagram because he posted a picture of his girlfriend. But I know that behind that picture is so much more. And what you're seeing is face value, but what's behind that status she posted is so much more. So your highest good to know for you is you already are picking up all their intuition that is best for you. Because you're seeing this, beware of this though. Be aware of what's behind the Facebook status. This is the Facebook status, but for you, just be aware that there's so much more for you. And the version of what you receive intuitively is authentically what is correct. Just don't let this status affect you, because it doesn't really matter. It does not. Trust me. Karen Jo says what's best for her. Okay, so Karen Jo, you were on my podcast, not my podcast, my live video the other day, and we discussed that darkness entity. And to refresh I want to tell you about it. So like I saw Karen, I saw her in a room, like dim lighting. I saw her physical body walking to her bed and like choking a shadow version of her. And she chokes the shadow version. She tosses the shadow version out of her bed. Then she gets into the bed, but the shadow version chokes her and gets out of the bed. And then the shadow gets in her bed. It's kind of this process of constantly wanting to be in the physical space. So now I'm getting for you, Karen, is that you kind of have taken the shadow out of your bed, and it's not pulling you out of your bed, but it's still there. So I'm wanting you to get rid of it completely. But for you to get rid of it completely, you have to understand that you are creating it, and what is the thought that's connecting to it. So let's see what that is. Once I connect into that darkness, I'm seeing you like walking back and forth like this, like an angry side of you. Almost as if people are upsetting you, and you're creating a space that's resulting from that. It's not. I don't want to say like how do I define it? I'm seeing you on the train arguing. I'm seeing people like energies on the train arguing with others. I'm seeing you picking up on the energy of that, and you taking that on as your energy, and then you arguing with someone else, and that's being created in your space. As a result of that, you're creating this darkness that you experience at nighttime. So that's best for you, Karen.
Right then.
Yeah.
Bless him. Okay.
Jason says, "Thank you so much. I needed that so much. I feel down, man." Well, dude. When I was 24, what I was doing is I was allowing others' perspectives to supersede my own. And when I turned 25, I realized, should I do that? 25 was like, I don't know. 26 like, bitch, bye. I'm going to do what's best for me. 24 was like, I was doing what's best for them. 25 was like, I was trying to figure out, should I do this for them or for me? 26 is all for me. So right now you're 25. So you're kind of like, okay, I don't know if this is best for them. Just truly ask yourself what you want to do. What you want to do is correct. What you want to do is going to feel best for you. So just do that and you won't feel down ever. But for right now, in this very moment, that was a very general kind of statement for you at the age of 25. Right now, in this moment, I want you to figure out why you feel down. Define that now. Why do you feel down, and what about that is making you feel down, and why you're giving your energy? Because you yourself can make you feel down unless something else comes into play. Because you yourself is naturally high vibe. You're just a high vibe person, just innately. We all are, you know. So you're doing something to prevent yourself from your high vibration. What is that you're doing, you know?
Now, by the way, Karen, do you notice that we're starting to blend in with our background? Yeah, you can see the lighting.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a conflict. A physical conflict. It's more of a mental thing you're doing. And yes, it's definitely picking up on the energy of others. But I also feel like your mind is something it's like perhaps from I don't know if it's past stuff or just things you're thinking of. Are you like arguing with people in your head or something? Or perhaps you have disdain towards others. It's not a physical like punching Thaddeus in the face. It's more like Thaddeus breath. I can't stand that nigga. In my mind though, but he doesn't know. But in my mind, I don't like him. It's kind of like that. Jason says it was meant to trigger me to shed. Well, there you go, buddy. Now you know that. Well, it was meant to trigger you. I don't want to give it a power over you.
Hold this right quick, because I just want to. I'm gonna just take a look at you, Karen, while we got some type of light.
Yeah, because we're going to end very soon. But Jason, I don't want you to say that this event gave you the power to shed, because what you can do, truly do, is actively shed now. You can be feeling phenomenal and shed, you know. So, but what you need to understand is that just get into your emotional state of being and figure out, okay, why do I feel this way? Like earlier today, I felt kind of off. I'm like, okay, why did I feel off? Oh, I know why. Now I adjusted that. I changed things and I switched over. But Jason, I just don't want you to wait on something to trigger you for you to grow. I would do the growing now. I would just look at my energetic body and pinpoint all the points of my body that don't serve me. It was literally 5:27 when we discussed the darkness, and it's like 10 shades darker than before. And it was like barely 6 minutes, or barely, I can't do math, 3, 4, that's 7, barely 7 minutes.
Okay, so Karen, this may sound a bit weird, but don't take it too technical how I'm about to say it. But what I see with you is that you need to kind of stop. When I say stop for a minute, I mean, like, you know, take a 5 minute. Stop and get out of. Oh, turn the light on so she can
At least see our faces.
So she can. Oh, we don't have the switch on.
So do it now, just like.
I mean, it doesn't matter because we're about to end it soon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen. What I got is for you to know, to be aware of, is take a moment to come out of your space, as in just come out of everything. So it's kind of like come out of, like, you're in like, you have your house. In your house is your life. Come out the house for a minute, go across the street and look at the house. Like, just basically look at yourself, look at your life for a minute, and just let it come to you. What I got was that the answers are outside, meaning that outside the house, like, you got to come out of yourself, and the answers will come from within you, if that makes sense. So come out of your life for a minute to look at it. Like those, when they say, okay, let's have we're gonna say come to Karen moment, meaning to, like, let's observe your life for a split second. Like, let's take 5 minutes and do that, and then let it come to you from there. Like, you know, whatever you feel and things like that. But just do that. You know, I wouldn't say question it, but, you know, if it feels right, you know, do that. Keep the phone off you. Try not to be distracted, or close your eyes, whatever you got to do so you're not distracted, but just do that.
And just make sure you're breathing, like breathing with your belly out, breathing with your mouth, like very dramatic breathing. I always start off meditation with like a very dramatic breath, like kind of, I'm just getting rid of all of that, all of whatever was, and just trying to get into that meditative state. But just breathe.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right, you guys. This darkness is annoying out of me. I can't see my own face right now. So we're going to let you guys go. Next Tuesday at 4 p.m. we'll be back.
Yeah.
See you guys later. Any questions or anything like the video? Make sure you like the video. Make sure you rewatch the video, because I gave it a 2 minute. And like the very 10 minutes of it, like the very first 10 minutes of the video, I gave it an energetic 2 minute. Make sure you leave some comments about that, how that felt to you, whatever energetic shifts you were going through. Let us know. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's all, y'all.
Hasta la pasta.
Hasta la pasta.
Bye, you guys. Later. I'm sorry. Later.